This is Amy again. Today we are attempting to make our first ever spaghetti sauce. We did get the recipe out of the Ball Blue book. I did adjust it a little bit. We did add some zucchini to ours, and I added some dried oregano to it because we did the Italian style tomato sauce, but I added just a little bit of extra stuff to it. So once this is cooked down a little bit, I'm actually going to take my immersion blender and I'm going to puree my vegetables, because I do have a 13-year-old and a 15-year-old who will not touch the spaghetti sauce with vegetables in it unless it's kind of hidden into the sauce. So what we did is I don't have a Squeezo or a Victorio, so we sat there and cored and scored them and blanched them, then peeled them and took all the seeds out and everything. And also we got our tomatoes from the farmer's market, and they were not Romano because nobody in the farmer's market really had any at this moment. So I got regular tomatoes, I think is what they were, and I got the smallest ones I could find because I know that there's a lot of water in regular tomatoes. So I got the smallest ones I could find and squeezed out as much as we could out of them. And my husband came up with the idea because we have a big old like lemon squeezer. So we took all the peelings and the cores, and then I took a separate bowl and I just stuck all the leftover stuff and stuck it in the lemon squeezer and squeezed out as much juice out of my peels and my cores as I could possibly get. And then we added it to this, and then we took a whole bunch of little cherry tomatoes and yellow cherry tomatoes from our garden, and we cut them up and put them in the sauce as well. So once this is boiled down a little bit, then I'll puree it, and then I'll get all my jars are washed, and they're washed and ready to be sanitized, but I only have one big burner. So we're going to do the tomato sauce first, and then we'll go ahead and get the jars heated, and then we'll start canning. Okay, so this is what it looks like after I've pureed all the vegetables in it. It has a little bit of thickness in there. You can see that's like the vegetables are pureed, and that's my son talking, so he wants his daddy's attention. So I'm going to sit here and let this reduce down a little bit more. And then after that, we'll get our jars ready and we'll start canning. We'll come back when we're ready for that part. And I want to say thank you to my husband, because without him I wouldn't have gotten everything chopped and ready to go for this. So thank you, honey. My tomato sauce or pasta sauce is now done. And I've already filled up 2.5 pint jars, and I'm on my third one. So we're going to fill this up and then we'll debubble it. And you want to fill it up to a 1/2 inch headspace, which is this second line right here. Right here, actually. And then you want to go ahead and debubble it so that there's no air bubbles. Some people say you don't have to do that with a liquid. I do it with everything that I can because you just never know. So now that I've debubbled it, I'm going to take my rag, which I use white vinegar to clean my rims. And you just go along the top and get it nice and clean so that your lid and your ring can stick. Because if there's anything on your rims, then you're not going to get a good seal. Or a possibility of bacteria growing inside your jar, which you don't want that. Okay, so that one's ready to go. Okay, so I was able to get 4.5 pints, like the asparagus jars, out of that. So I'm going to go ahead and put them in my water bath, because the Ball Blue book actually says you can water bath this. It says to water bath it for 35 minutes for pints. But because I used 1.5 pints, I'm going to go an extra 10 minutes to water bath it. Maybe an extra 15 just to be on the safe side. So I'm going to put them down and probably for 50 minutes, close to an hour. And while that is processing, I'm going to go ahead and get my dishes done and get started on our dinner, because then later tonight after the babies go to sleep, I'll be working on another project, probably either jam or pickles. I'm not sure which one yet, but we'll be back when they're done. So it's the next day, and all my lids sealed on my spaghetti sauce. So they're nice and cold. What I have to do now is go ahead and take off my bands and wash them, and then I'll put fresh bands on them because I like to store my stuff with my bands on them, and date them, and they'll go in my cupboard. And at the moment I'm working on pickles. I've got 5 quarts right there, and enough to make about another 5 quarts. I'm heating up my jars as we speak, but that is going to be a totally another video. But yep, there's my first time ever spaghetti sauce, homemade and canned. First for both of them. So thank you, hope you enjoyed this video, and we'll come back when we're doing the pickles. Alright, bye.